Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another gold making video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about, is it still worth making gold through the Mage Tower? Now, if you guys want a quick answer, yes, the Mage Tower right now is giving me one of the highest profit margins of everything that I'm selling, but I'll get into those details in just a second. I do want to give some background information, as I understand that not everybody knows exactly what the Mage Tower is. Now, the Mage Tower is originally from Legion, and it was brought back whenever they introduced Legion Time Walking. Originally, it was supposed to be an exclusive event that only happened in Legion Time Walking, and we saw this take place late November of last year, and the sales were amazing. Basically, as long as you complete it on your character, you get a cool transmog, and there's also an achievement which you can complete to get a cool mount, which kind of looks like a floating book. But that is what brought the appeal to this, and then in late March of this current year, about 2 months ago, they decided to make the actual event permanent. So no longer you can do this every single day, you no longer have to wait for Legion Time Walking, and you no longer are, only have a week of time every few months. So this means for us gold makers is that we are no longer getting those quick sales, in a 1 week time. Now we have sales all the way to infinity, technically, unless they decide to remove it from the game, which I doubt. But in general, basically, you're selling a ton of old world items as the Mage Tower is scaled down, and depending on the boss fight, you might need certain types of armor, potions, buffs, etc. But without further ado, we're going to get right into the actual breakdown of profit, and here we go. So on screen, I currently have my past 2 months of sales of these items. Now, it does not look like a lot. However, I did tell you that the profit margin on these items are insane, which we'll get to in just a second. But you're going to notice by a very quick glance that all of these items, or the majority of these items, are gems. The reason for that is simply because I focus on jewel crafting, and I can get my hands on a ton of cheap gems relatively easy. Now, I'm somebody who slacked off with alchemy in BFA, and so I do not have the tools of the trade, and I've been lazy to get it, in current Shadowlands, so that is the reason why you see no alchemy whatsoever. BFA alchemy is probably the biggest and most profitable market, however, I'm just not in it on my server. But what I am in is primarily jewel crafting. You also see some inscription, and there's also some leatherworking with the drums. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and we're going to start with the, small side of things and work our way to the very profitable items. So going first, we have the drums. Now what I'm going to do is break this down. And in the past 2 months, we have sold 300, I'm just going to round it to 60 drums, for a total of 25,000 gold. Now that does not seem like a lot, but the awesome thing is my crafting cost is only 10 gold, because I buy each leather for about 2 gold a piece. So that brings us to only spending about 3,600 gold to craft all of these, which means we're making about 22,000 gold profit out of the 25,000 gold revenue. So yet again, that's a huge profit margin. So drums are super easy to get. They require the Draenor leatherworking, and it's just super simple. Cost 5 of the raw beast hide, and on most servers you can find it relatively cheap. As I said, my smart average buy price is around the 2 gold mark. Moving on, we have the inscription pieces, which are just simply called greater inscriptions, and this is from Pandaria Inscription. All you have to do is max out your Pandarian inscription, learn these items, and they're relatively easy to craft as well. In the past 2 months, I have sold 51 items for a total of about 21,000 gold. Now, very similar, and you're going to see that this is a common trend, but the crafting cost is super low. As you can see, TSM gives me a crafting cost of about 133, and I personally believe that it's probably less than that. I just buy all of the Pandarian herbs for, 2 gold and under, mill them, craft them into ink, and then craft these, but I'm going to use 133 for this example. That means I've spent about 7,000 gold crafting all of these items, which leaves us with about a 15k profit, a little bit less than that, but we're going to round it to 15,000 gold. Yet again, a great item. Then we have scrolls, which scrolls are kind of bad on my realm. Sometimes they've been very good, but this comes from BFA inscription. And it's just very simple, just mill some BFA basic herbs, get yourself some crimson ink, and craft these war scrolls. In the past 2 days, I have sold 135, and my crafting cost for these is actually 75 gold. So as you can see, these right here, I sold about 45 right here, and another, so a total of about 65 scrolls, I actually sold for, a loss of profit. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure why I did that. I think I was just trying to get rid of them because they're pretty slow. As you can see, going from an 8-day gap, 9-day gap, even over 20 days. So definitely on the slower side on my server, but still, I am still profitable even though there's a little bit of a loss. At a 75 gold crafting, I've spent about 10,000 gold for the total crafting cost, which means I'm still profiting about 17,000. Of course, this comes from, these first original sales of a very, very high number, but that's still over 50% profit, which I will gladly take. Then lastly, we have our big set of items, which is gems. Now this breaks down closely into 3 different types of gems, and we're going to focus on the smaller ones first. Both of these come from BFA jewel crafting, actually, but the first one is the Kraken's Eye. Now what I do is I purchase the uncut version of these Kraken's Eye for relatively cheap on my server. A lot of times people don't really know what they're worth, just throw them on the auction house, and I pick them up, then of course cut them and then post them on the auction house. But in the past 2 months, I have sold 55 of them, and my purchase price for these is about 128 gold. Now, the price of these range drastically. At this point right here, I guess we technically sold for a loss based on our average purchase price. Some of these, like the 190s, that's getting pretty close to my buy price of 128. Then all of a sudden, I go from selling them at 400 gold to 1 day later selling them for almost 10,000 gold. So definitely very drastic. That's some people resetting the market, people, not posting, so I'm the only one posting. So I can jump up the price, but in general, I've sold them for 35,000 gold total, which brings us to a 27,000 gold profit because we've only spent about 7,000 on these gems. So 27k coming from 34,000, that is yet again a very high margin. Moving on, we have the Leviathan's Eye, which yet again is a jewel crafting gem from BFA. This is just the higher tier 1, and I've sold 65 of these. Yet again, I purchased these, the uncut version, for about an average of about 200 gold. Similar to the other ones that we see, the price changes rapidly. We go from, a solid 522 to jumps up to 1,500, 2,000. Recently, I sold 1 or 2 actually for 15,000, and, it just jumps like crazy. But then, I haven't gotten a single sale since 15 days ago. So, very drastic, kind of related to the fact that anybody can do Mage Tower whenever they want, but using that 200 gold purchase price, that means I've only spent about 13,000 gold on actually buying these items, which means we have about 54,000 gold profit. Yet again, I'm a broken record at this point, super duper high, lovely profit. But that leads us to the big bucks, which is the Crimson Spinel. And yes, as you can see, the bulk of my gold is coming from this single item. Technically, there's 3 versions, so from these 3 items. Now, if you guys do not know, this is a TBC gem, which all it requires is you have to complete a quest, go into a raid, purchase the recipe from a vendor, maybe 10 to 15 minutes of work, and like I said before with all of the other gems, I purchased the uncut version on the auction house, then turn it into a cut version, sell it on the auction house. Now these seem to do super well on my server. I really don't know what's up with that. It seems like a lot of people try to flip them on my server. Maybe they're transferring out. Maybe some people are just diehard, Mage Tower fans. But as you can see, there's a very big flipper on this server that seems to be buying a ton. I don't know if he's, trying to flip them around on this server or just trying to transfer them out, but he has purchased a lot. But regardless of this guy who is buying a ton, there's also a lot of other sales. Now, backing up to the first of these 2-month period, when the Mage Tower first started, you can see a ton of sales. I mean, they were super expensive as well. We have 2,000s, 5,000s, 2,000s, right there, 5, 10,000 a piece, etc., etc. And then it slowly falls to 300, 700, and then it kind of balances out around that 500 to 1,000 mark. So either way, I'm taking advantage that these do sell on my server, but of course, like I said at the beginning, all servers are going to be different. There are so many Mage Tower things that I'm not talking about in this video, so just be mindful. I know not all servers are going to look like this. But getting back to the profit, we have sold 140 of these for a total of almost 300,000 gold. My average purchase price, this is the crazy part, my average purchase price of this item is 150 gold. Insane, which means I've spent only about 21,000 gold buying all of these items, which leaves us with a profit of 273,000 gold. So right there, that is the bulk of my money. Crazy, investing 20,000 to make, 300,000. That is awesome, and I'll gladly take it. Now, I also sell old world enchants. However, it's really hard for me to track that because I sell a wide variety, and I don't know if it's specifically to Mage Tower. Also, I do every once in a while sell some other items, but generally this is the primary. So that's why I'm not talking about alchemy, that's why I'm not talking about enchants. Personally, I either don't have the profession all the way leveled, or it's just kind of hard to fully tell what's Mage Tower related and what's not. But totaling all of that together, we are brought to 408,000 gold profit, which is insane. If we go back to, simply the Mage Tower group altogether, we have 404,000 profit out of 480,000 gold revenue. So we spent about 76,000 gold to make 400,000 gold. So yet again, a crazy margin. If you want to do the math, that's about an 85% crafting margin, which is very spectacular, especially on my server. Now, quick disclaimer, you're not going to see this exact form on your server, especially if you're on a high pop. I am on a medium pop server, so I use that to my advantage, less competition, more potential higher price that I can sell it as, but I also do have that potential of less buyers. So please do not take this as if you craft these items, you're going to make 400k in a month, but please take this as, you can craft these items and you can make some extra gold by selling these in the past 2 months. So hopefully this added some more gold to your collection. Hopefully you get some good sales with these items in the future, but thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you do BFA Alchemy or anything else regarding the Mage Tower, how it's working out for you, and just keep me updated. But as always, everybody, feel free to join the Discord down below if you want to be a part of our community, and have a good day.